Hello, beautiful people. Hello, hello, hello. Let me just change the privacy here. But only me, it was the tree. Did not notify anybody. All right. Hello, 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 beautiful people. Hello, guys. It's Legal Wednesday with Mudi. Again, let me just check where he is. Jumelan. All right. Dumelang bathong, dumelang. Batho ba Facebook. Sanbanani. We are hosting Mudi again for the last time today. It's Legal Wednesday. Mojolo issues with their legalities. That's what we'll be discussing today. We're gonna talk about a few things. Hi, unblock your engine. Yeah. All right. Se ke batle ke nana se ke blockile Mudi. Joa. Hello, beautiful people. Go balin checkele hore these lives are public first, please. Hello, one person. Hello. Please comment in the comment section. Kono bono omang. Comment in the comment section, please. One person. Hello. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being the number one. I don't understand why is it that okay, two people. Hello, guys. Please check the settings on your side if you can to check that this live is on public so that everyone can see it. And please invite others. So far on my side, I have managed to make it public, but you never know with technology. Yeah. Looks like all my accounts are on public, so everyone should be able to see it. People who are joining from Moody's live can also see it, and anyone else can also see it. Please share the live because this is our last week with Moody. Maybe we'll come back again later. I don't know. Let me just explain just a little how come we got to have this time with Moody. It is true when they say if you're doing something and you just keep on doing it without expecting anything in return, you'll be surprised that your name can be mentioned in rooms where you are not even present. And that is what happened because I keep talking about the Mojolo issues with their legalities in terms of body. The one person, please confirm who you can hear me. I want to know if the sound is good before we carry on. So, in terms of your name ending up being mentioned in places where you're not, it has happened to me because of my constant sharing experiences and advices as to guys, do not marry without discussing the issues of marriage contracts because Hey, I come from there, guys. I come from there. I know how difficult it is. Kumnandi maningena emshadweni. Kumnandi yo ana nto mnandi sika iyo. Homonate bona bona bahaisane. But here's the problem. The problem arises when things don't go well between the two of you, and then there comes a time when you have to split up. Oh, I'm clearly audible. Thank you, Mintlos. Thank you so much. You are here again. I see. Thank you for being here again. So, yay, the legalities, no one prepares you for them. No one. So I'm trying to make a difference for others because I wish the advices that I'm getting now, I could have gotten before. Maybe I would still have said, no, umuntu wami ngiyamthanda, I don't care, ngiyamtrust. I don't know. But at least having known, maybe now I would be saying, yo, and there's banibani unachu. Yeah, yazin. So unfortunately, for some of us, we did not get that kind of warnings before. And as a result, we got banned. Badly banned. Badly singhanyan. Let me try and call Mudi and see if I can get him. I can get a hold of him. Let's hope. Let's hope. Because now it's way past 7. Let me just try and get him. Okay, he is online. I wonder if he has seen the link that I've sent him. It's not ringing, guys. But he will be here. I trust him. So when I just be patient.
I am looking in.
Oh, you're looking in. You did receive the link. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now he will be here. Now he will be here. His public says, okay, thank you so much. If that has been confirmed. So, yes. Now, there is a beautiful lady called Lydia Lwazihlangwani. She's an attorney, by the way. So she's the one that spoke to Mudi, and they thought, you know what, it's a good thing that we can at least give people advices on once a week on Wednesdays. And I don't know why they chose my platform, and they are the ones that chose my platform to say, you know what, it's better we do it on this platform. And I'm grateful for that. I'm so grateful, because most of the times we don't even think that people do see what we are trying to do. But then when you get confirmation that there are people that listen to you and people that take you seriously enough, it gets so heartwarming. I don't want to lie. And yes, are you ready, guys? With the questions today, please, in the comment section, ensure that you invite others, invite others, invite others, invite others. Invite the people that you know they are interested in getting married. Invite those ones who are already trying to get married. Invite those who are married already as well. And even those who are getting divorced, who are thinking of stepping out of their marriage, who are heartful of their marriages. Invite them as well. Invite even the happy ones. Invite them, tell them we are here with Mudi this evening, and we're going to discuss issues that affect all of us. You don't have to just listen to these advices only when things go south. You don't have to wait for things to go south. It's good just to equip yourself with information all the time. Just make sure that if it's information that you can equip yourself with, you grab it, because even if it's not going to work for you, it may work for someone that you love. It may work for your children. It may work for your sisters. It may work for your brothers. It may work for your uncles, your aunts, your mothers. And your fathers, our parents sometimes are not afraid to marry many times. Hello. So it's good that we are equipped so that we can equip others as well. So you don't have to say, ah, nah, I can't divorce some stand. Why should kids take my decision? Hey, uzazizwa. It's like, hey, fitla era papa one day. Or if it's hitting somewhere close to the family, close to you, o tla bo sa tsebe gore na o qala kae ntse le hona o ntse o mathamba ntse you are looking for advices. No, continue. You should have gotten the advices while you still could. Our special guest for the evening is here. He is here. Mudi, how can you not be on the screen? Injani Baba. I'm trying to add you.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Just need to make space for you. Go this way. I don't know if
I
this
can see
one will
myself.
be better. Yeah, I
Okay.
think this one will be best for us. Yes. Good morning,
Yeah,
sir. Good
that's
evening. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Mudi.
good evening.
How are
Good evening.
you?
How are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Yes.
good. Very good.
But you
Yeah.
said I must never ask a married man how they are. I must ask them how are they coping.
Yeah,
So
I
I will.
know. Today,
How are you coping?
today you can ask. Today you can ask me. She's not home. She's not around. So fine.
But when I correct, yes. I
Mhm.
man, where
If
is your
she's not home,
secretary today?
if she's not home, everything's
Yeah.
fine.
Oh no, Nganga, yes, you
There's
are
peace.
not right at
Uh,
all.
there-
You're
there's peace.
so not
There's
right.
peace. There's so much peace.
You know what's again? And it's possible
Uh,
that the peace is not there because of you. You know?
no, no, no. No.
I
Everybody who knows
swear.
me knows that I'm a peaceful person. I'm a peaceful person. I'm a peaceful person.
But
Even the
but
kids,
a peaceful
even
person
the
does
kids are
not
so happy.
point at
Even
themselves.
the,
No,
even the kids
the
are so
peaceful
happy.
Moody,
Wait,
peaceful person does not point
wait,
at themselves.
wait until she comes back. Even the network
Yeah.
won't be fine. Just wait. Wait. See.
Ooh, I say, All right. I think we can start now. Are you ready, Baba?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. Can you please explain what it means when the terms of a marriage contract says it excludes a pension fund? For someone just asked that question. That question has been asked by someone. They
Okay.
want to know what does it mean when it says the marriage contract excludes the pension?
Okay. So this happens when parties are married out of community of property with accrual. In other words, in terms of this marriage contract, parties are free to indicate what is it which is included in their accrual or in their marriage. In case maybe it happens that the marriage is dissolved, which dissolution is going to come by as a result of a divorce. Uh, because if they're in communal property, this means that they are going to share even pension funds because it is taken as if it's an asset in the joint estate. And then even if they're married with accrual, if they don't exclude pension fund, their pension fund is going to be calculated from their date of marriage until the date of divorce. In other words, they're going to take into account that pension fund. And in many cases, it can end up being shared because it forms part of the asset of that other person who has it or who's a member of a pension fund. So the parties are free in the marriage contract to indicate what is it that they don't want to share in case they divorce. So usually it will be pension funds, and then also, if I'm the one who has to advise client, usually I also even advise them to consider even their business interests. Because if we may look at the purpose of the pension funds, it is made in such a way that a person after retirement, or if let's say a person can get injured or resign, they must have some means to move on with their lives instead of depending on the government. So if they don't exclude pension fund and then it happens that they divorce, let's say they divorce at an adult age or maybe senior age, of about 55 years or almost 60 years, when they're just about to retire, they are going to lose their pension funds. So that is a problem. So better to safeguard the the ways that provide means to survive. Pension funds and business interest are better excluded from accrual. So that's what it means. In other words, if this person who's asking for advice, if she was to divorce tomorrow, then they can share whatever assets they accumulated from the date of marriage, excluding pension fund. They're not going to count the pension fund when they count accrual.
All right. So, in other ways, to make it simple, so when we sign the marriage contract, before we marry, before the uncles come, before everything, in that marriage contract, we can decide that, okay, we're going to share everything that we're going to work together for, but excluding our business interest. I had a car wash, is not going to be part of that. And you, maybe I'm not working, but I have a car wash. You have a
Mm,
pension, maybe you're working. Your pension and
mm.
my car wash are not going to be part of the assets that, if it happens that our marriage dissolves, we're going to share. We're not going to share those.
Yeah, that is very, very much important because at least people can be able to move on. If you're running a business, you are depending on that business, you can still
Mm.
move on without legal effects on that business. Whereas if you don't exclude it, it's going to be counted as if it's part of that accrual, where you may end up losing even that business. So there are assets that people can think of, and then they can decide to exclude. It's like if, let's say, you are in the process of purchasing a property for another reason, let's say for your children, if let's say you had children before marriage, but that property is not yet registered in your name, you can even indicate that this property that I'm about to purchase should also be excluded from accrual. In other words, you can describe the property and exclude it. Or you can even say that any immovable property that this party can buy or purchase during marriage shall be excluded. You can exclude whatever asset you wish to exclude from forming part of accrual.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I see we've got visitors here. We've got other people. I don't know if they would like to join us. Uh, I see Sibuti, Yanelisa, and Da. I will add you later on. For now, guys, let us invite everybody. Invite everybody that we can invite for them to be
Except,
here.
except this woman that I live with.
Mudi
Except
Manskesa
that
jwalo ka
you can,
ngwane
you
mong,
can, you can, you
please.
can, you can invite you can invite anyone else. Anyone else,
Yes.
please.
All right.
Okay.
Let me ask this question before I allow these people. I think they also have got something to say. I
Yeah.
have another question of a person that says, um, if we were talking the matter of Lobola. Ne? This
Mm,
person says
mm,
there is something that you guys are not telling us, that if I am
mm,
lobolat by somebody that comes out of the country, this law of marriages that happens when the uncles come immediately, it does not work. Is that true? That it only applies to South Africans if the two South Africans are getting married. Like if my uncle and
mm,
the uncles of the South African guy that I am in love with are coming
mm,
together in that one sitting already. If they reach an agreement and there is some monetary value that comes out, I am married in commute of property. Now, this
mm,
person says
mm,
that thing only applies to only South Africans. It does not apply if
mm,
now the other party is a foreigner. It's somebody that
mm.
comes from another country. Is it true?
Yeah, I think I did touch base that we were in passing. I think on our first week. Yeah,
Okay.
it is true. What you say is true. But then now it goes back to the definition of a customary marriage itself. A customary marriage is a marriage, without going into definition, but just to touch the basis, is a marriage which is entered into by African or by indigenous people of South Africa. That's the some part of the basis. If let's say we have to go to the definition of this marriage, it has to be indigenous people of South Africa. So in other words, if one
Okay.
is citizen is a South African, and then another one is a foreign citizen, their marriage cannot be customary marriage. They can only enter into a civil union or a civil marriage. So,
Oh,
and then, yeah, because the issue here
yeah, you
also
did.
will,
You did mention this. Hey,
yeah,
I
I
remember
did
now.
mention when on the first day, it was just in passing. Because another problem that people should also consider is that it has to be solemnized or Lobola, or the negotiation has to be done in terms of customary law. So
Yes.
it has to be between South African citizens, in other words, because otherwise we cannot go and solemnize the marriage in terms of Zimbabwean law, in terms of Lesotho law, because it's like now we are going to international private law where we may have problems because maybe these customary marriages in some parts of the world are not recognized. And another loophole that if let's say it is allowed that a foreign citizen can enter into a customary marriage, we can have to be an influx of foreign citizens coming into the country, then negotiating and paying lobola, and then just like that. In other words, they're in a relationship where they can even ask for residence or other rights which they are entitled to because they are in a relationship with a citizen of South Africa. If you may look at even on the issue of civil marriage, the civil marriage which people sign at home affairs, there are many or there are few foreign citizens who are entering into marriages with South Africans unknowingly. We find that the citizen of South Africa does not know that they're being married to those guys, but it's happening where you may find that you are married but don't even know the spouse. So it will be worse now if the issue of customary marriage can involve foreign citizen. You may
Yes.
see on some parts of the country, especially because our economy is not creating employment for some of people. They may even be desperate just for money, and then they just do lobola, and then just like that. So with Home Affairs is that if you are entering into a civil union or a civil marriage, they conduct investigations before they allow you to marry. It will be different if
Okay.
I will marry you. I just go to Home Affairs with my ID and your ID and make a booking that I want to come and get married. Then they just investigate. It's just only me and you on the system, even our system at work. It can indicate whether you are married or you are not. So if you are not married, then you are good to go. You can just get married and proceed. But with the foreign citizen, it's not as easy as that. They have to conduct investigations, and then there have to be papers from the country of origin of that person to indicate that he's not a party already in another marriage, and there's nothing which prevents him from getting married in South Africa. It's like they to conduct investigations. Whereas if they were to marry in terms of customary marriage, it was just going to be an issue of sending uncles, then the parties are married. So it is true that
Okay.
a foreign citizen cannot enter into a customary marriage with a South African citizen.
No, it makes perfect sense. Even the reason thereof, like I feel like yeah, at least our government is looking yeah, is looking for our best interest, which is good.
Mm.
I don't know if we can invite. There are three people here on stage. Let's try and see if this person would like. Hello, Sibuzi. Oh, I maybe Sibuzi is not ready. Hello, Yonalisa. Shall I add you?
Hi,
Hi, dear. How are you?
I'm good and how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Would you
Let me
like
just
to say anything?
run away from the man.
Pardon?
Let me run away from the man. The house.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Would you? Here is another one
uh,
that's just like you.
this one is a problem. She's even smiling. She doesn't have problems. The problems are mysterious.
Hi, Yonalisa. Yes, the stage is yours, dear.
Okay. Hi everyone. That's good to see you.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have one question.
Mm.
Uh, Married in December, out of property with accrual.
Mm.
There is that contract that we sign, but actually we signed for our pensions that a certain percentage is going to the spouse from both working on government. Yeah. So now I wanted to check. Okay, let me just specify this. With our contract, our and that we don't share our credits. So
You don't.
my
Mhm,
question is, if I were to buy maybe a house under my name, or I build a house for my daughter
mhm.
out of marriage, do I have to go back to and exclude it?
Okay. Okay,
Did you
let's
hear
start from.
your
I didn't
network
hear
is
part.
touch and
Yeah,
go?
yeah.
I
She was
don't-
starting, but
Did you manage to grab her
I,
question?
I think I managed to follow because as a lawyer, you're even trained to look at the eyes of a person and diagnose a problem. So let's start from where she ended when you asked if you purchase a house, do you need to go back to amend the contract? So once you
Yes.
enter into marriage, your contract cannot just be amended uh, like a will. A will can amend it anytime. So to amend a marriage contract, it will be the same issue as a person who's moving maybe from communal property to out of communal property. So that can be done in terms of Section 21 of the Matrimonial Property Act. In other words, you have to make an application to High Court to amend your marriage contract, and then the High Court has to give you an order to do so, and then after that you proceed to amend your contract. I think we touched base on changing of marriage regimes last week, so it should be the same issue. So
Okay.
at the moment, I don't know. Okay, you said that you're married with Akwale.
Yes.
Yeah. So in other words, if you're married with Akwale, and then there's no exclusion of immovable property that you are going to purchase, then it means that that property will form part of Akwale.
Okay, but
So
remember I have a site which I haven't bought
mm,
anything, so that
mm,
on my accrual. So if I were to build a house on that under my
mm,
daughter's name, does it still
mm.
fall at the accrual?
Okay, the property is under your name.
Yes, the property is under my name, but I included
So
it.
okay, okay. It was excluded.
I inboxed you. Can you? Yeah. I,
Yo,
I
I received I received lots of inboxes. Yeah, I received. Okay, so in other words, you're saying that you in your contract the property has been excluded,
yes.
and then in other words, it has been described as F number 123, maybe Pretoria CBD has been excluded from Accra. Yeah, then in that part, there's no problem. In other words, if it's excluded, it's not going to form part of Accra, even if you can build on it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Anything that
Okay.
you can exclude, it's like you're allowed to exclude anything. That's why even when we started, we're saying that you can exclude pension funds, you can exclude business interest, you can exclude whatever asset you want to exclude. So there's no problem.
But you
As
need to
long
be
as you
more.
are indicating that that property, as long as you are saying that that property has been described and then it has been excluded,
Um,
then there's no problem.
so again, need to
Mm,
be more specific what you are excluding, or what you are in.
mm.
Like for instance, saying we only include the pensions and the cars that we have like now, and my car and our car and his car we can use. Ne? But we did say we are only in the cars and the pensions with the certain percentage. So if I were to purchase another car, does it still form under the accrual?
Okay, let me maybe simplify what accrual is. Accrual simply means that all assets that you acquire before marriage are excluded, and then all assets that you can exclude specifically in your contract are excluded. If you are going to purchase another car and then it is not excluded by description, then it's going to form part of accrual. Unless if in your contract you have indicated that all the motor vehicles that parties are going to purchase are going to be excluded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In other words, every asset that you are going to purchase under your name or under his name is going to form part of accrual.
Okay.
And to be
Um,
honest, if we okay,
and then the debt that one make in the near future, besides the
okay,
one that before marriage.
okay, okay. Let me explain how this accrual works. I don't know how it was done in a case, and then I don't have it in my position. But let me tell you how it works because I've seen many people. There are people who even book consultations with us so that they can understand their contract. So I'm not sure if maybe contracts are not being explained, or maybe parties are not consulting with notary publics to understand how it works because it's a problem that you're already in, but it's like there are questions. So with us, we don't agree that you sign a contract if you still have questions. We advise and we
Mm.
consult until you understand what you're entering into. Can you hear
Because
me?
the lawyer explained, they were explaining.
Yeah, that's why I said that. Let me just try to explain, and then you understand how it works. And then you may even feel sorry. It's like you may even regret asking this question. Okay,
Oh, you are
but let me no, let me make it easy for you. How it works. So, let's say you are getting married to tomorrow. Okay, let's say you are getting married tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 20. Like, tomorrow's date, or let's use today's date. What is today's date? I don't even
24th,
remember. 20, 21, 22. Ne? Today's 20,
today.
22nd April. No, 24th.
It's 24th
Okay,
today.
24th.
Mm.
Okay, 24 April 2024. Let's say you guys are getting married today, and you are getting married in terms of out of community with accrual. So what happens is that all the assets that you guys have, we're talking about assets, are excluded
Yes.
from this uh, accrual. So we're going to calculate only assets from the date of marriage going forward. They are going to form part of accrual.
Yes.
And then if let's say now uh, you did not exclude asset by description. Let's say you have a house, but when you didn't exclude it, you just say that okay. Some will say that the commencement value. There's something if you can look at maybe usually paragraph number 3. They'll say commencement value of your estate is. Then they give it a value to say okay, it's nil or it's 100,000. This means that
Mm-hmm.
any growth in that specific asset is going to be taken into account as if it's accrual. If let's say you say that your value at the date of marriage is 0, and then but you have a house, in other words, when that property grows, it's like it gives you problem because the growth is occurring during marriage. It's like um okay, let's calculate. What happens is that you get married today, and then tomorrow, let's say you buy a house, it forms part of accrual. And then later, maybe let's say you purchase a car, even your partner is doing the same. So with regard to liabilities, you are not liable for each other's debts during marriage. So in other words, if let's say you are not paying your car, the financiers or your creditors can sue only you, but not your partner.
Oh.
In other words, during marriage, you don't affect each other by liabilities, and it's the same case with marriage out of community without accrual. So your liabilities are your liabilities, my liabilities are my liabilities. Is during marriage. Then let's say you can purchase assets under your name. Your husband can purchase assets under his name. There's no problem. You can even sell or transfer assets without asking for each other's permission.
Oh.
You understand? Then now the only effect now will be
Almost fell.
now now
When I
now,
was up
now,
for when.
then now what happens now if let's say the marriage is dissolved? Dissolution of marriage will happen when you guys divorce or when one of you pass away. So let's start with divorce. If let's say now you are divorcing, we are going to calculate your accrual because what is being shared here is accrual. That's why they say with accrual. We have to go to calculate your accrual. So Your accrual is like growth of your assets from the date of marriage, or all assets that you got to obtain from the date of marriage, less liabilities that you have. One. So the difference is that with assets, we are going to calculate from the date of your marriage. So let's say we say that you purchase a house, ne? Let's give it a value of 1 million rand, and then you also purchase a car. Let's give it also a value of 1 million rand. In other words, your assets are worth 2 million rand. These are assets that you got from the date of marriage or the growth in your assets from the date of marriage. If let's say you had a house which we valued at 100 rand when you get married, but now when you divorce, your property is 2 million. In other words, this 2 million forms part of accrual. Unless if you specified by description that this house earth number or unit number is excluded, then that property is not going to form part. We're not even going to put it on calculations. Like the house that you said that maybe is under your name, it has been specifically excluded. In other words, that property, we're not going to cut it here. We're going to count all other assets that you did not exclude. Then, if let's say you also excluded pension funds, we are also going to exclude pension fund if it's excluded on divorce. And then we are going to do the same calculations with regard to your husband. And then we get, let's say the husband has 1 million of car, maybe let's say also it's a house that you purchase separately, and then it's 1 million. And then in other words, when you have 2 million of assets, he has 2 million of assets. What happens is that if let's say you have 2 million no liabilities, and then he has 2 million no liabilities, this means that the growth of your assets is equal. Understand? And then if it's equal, you don't share, because what has to be shared here is the difference. You have to share equally into on accrual. So if it's 2 million on your side, 2 million on this side, the difference is 0. So you don't share anything. But now, what happens if let's say now on your side, your house is 1 million, your car is 1 million, and then maybe you don't have liabilities. This means that your net accrual is 2 million. Ne? And then let's go to the other part. It's okay, his house, his cars, his businesses value is 5 million or 2 million. But now he has more liabilities. Let's say he has 2 million of assets, but his liabilities are 2 million or are even more than 2 million. This means that his accrual is on negative or is at 0. In other words, though the accrual yake, the husband is 0. Follow one? And then now the judge said that you have to share equally from the growth from date of marriage. In other words, now when you have 2 million, you don't have liabilities. Your other partner has 2 million of assets, but he has more liabilities. This means that he is going to negatively affect you, because now you have to share equally. 2 million minus 0, the difference is still 2 million. This means that now we have to share your 2 million. So in other words, if your car, you may have to sell so that you can be able to buy the other, to pay the other out. It's like you owe the other part. So that's how you calculate this accrual.
Yo. Guys.
In other words, during the marriage. Yeah, it's like during the marriage, you don't affect each other, because remember we said that your liabilities are your liabilities, my liabilities are my liabilities. But now, when the marriage is dissolved by death or by divorce, is that we start to do these calculations. The more I have liabilities now, it's going to reduce my net worth or my assets.
I get affected by the liabilities.
Then we show your assets.
I get to be affected by the liabilities that I did not approve.
Yeah, and then remember the problem here, which make it worse, is that if you're married out of community, you don't need each other's consent to enter into liabilities. What happens is that if the other party, let's say you find a smart man, not like me, I'm not smart. Let's say you find a smart or a smart woman. That's what the smart women. So let's say you find a smart person.
Yeah, they would go and accumulate debt and debt and debt.
You remember everything when it's fine, then they'll be fine, no debts, whatever. But remember, with marriage, it's like you don't sleep today and then overnight you think about divorce. No, it's a process. So if let's say someone that hour, they regret marrying you, because it happens, especially these women on Facebook. People on Facebook look different than when you see them in person. So let's say let's say now you got confused. Hey, women on Facebook. Uh-uh. Mm-mm. I remember I once met another one at the mall. At the
Hey.
mall. I even make the way I was doing so disappointed. I even made a mistake of telling my wife that, hey, today I met another. Well, now they look different in real life. So now let's say it happens that during marriage we are solo. I want to long to is not the person that I saw on Facebook. She's different. She looks different. You can see the real men to men now. Yeah, men to
Hey.
men now. And yeah, yeah, solo. It's better to divorce. What happened now is that what happened is that with men, that you women are fooling us. It's not fair what they do to us. When you see in person, even in office. Remember, in office, I work with women. I
But
work with them every day. But when I see them on Facebook, it's like,
Mudi, you cannot expect us not to post our best pictures.
no, 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 no.
That's
But
not fair.
don't do too much. I mean,
My
you
makeup,
cannot
you
wear.
should post it.
No, women cannot wear. You cannot wear makeup and then also do a filter. If you're using a phone, they say you can do a filter. I don't know what app they call it. There's another app which
Hey.
just makes it like a. So let's say now the other party now regrets maybe or where marriage no longer working. Maybe there are conflicts in the marriage, but that
Yes.
the person who has assets now, let's say all of us have assets. What happens is that now the other party can start to transfer their assets. They can either
Yes.
sell their assets. Sometimes what they can do, they can incur liabilities deliberately, just knowing that
Yes.
along the way, maybe before end of the year, I want to divorce. In other words, they can see that they've assets and they tend to use their assets because now we have to share accrual. So what happens is that the best advice that they can get from lawyers, I'm not a lawyer by the way, is that maybe try to reduce the value of your assets. In other
Yes.
words, if let's say the person has four properties, he can
Mm.
transfer properties. If he lacks properties, what he can do, he can just maybe apply for bonds or whatever, mortgage bonds, like increase your liability so that now your estate is lowered or it's at zero. Whereas find that the other party on the other side, she or he is not aware that the other party is planning against me. So when divorce starts, whatever is finalized, the other party does not have assets, or the other party has assets and more liabilities. Now we are going to share from the other party who does not have liabilities. So in other words, the more liabilities, the more they reduce my estate, but I'm still going to share from the other party. And furthermore, this one is going to affect parties when one of them pass away.
Hey.
Because what
Oh.
happened is like remember the corporations. Let's say now we say that the woman has 2 million of assets and then she does not have liabilities, or she have more
Yes.
assets and then minus liabilities, then she's left with 2 million. And then on the
Yes.
will, let's say that's what women do. I don't know even they need to as husband. They don't give us when they die. Usually they'll say, okay, I'm giving everything or I'm giving my house to my children.
Mm.
But remember now, when we do these calculations after your death, you find that now your estate is worth 2 million rand, but the other party, let's say, is set zero or is set less. In other words, we have to
Hey.
share the difference. If 2
Yes.
million minus zero or 2 million minus 500,000 on the other party, you still owe the other party so that you can share equally from this accrual. In other words, if now when you have a will to say that I'm giving this house or all my assets to my children, I probably not going to happen because now you owe the other party. It will be the same issue, Nyana, with communal property. It's like this one is communal property, but which went to private school. Because what happens is that in communal property, you don't say that I'm giving my house to this child or to this person because the other half belongs to your partner on death.
Mm.
Remember how communal property works? But in
Oh.
this way now, you are a community with accrual. In other words, you owe the other party. So that's what I'm trying to explain. In other words, you may have problems with respect to your will. The only way which you are not going to have a problem on your will is if you are dying and then now your assets are less than the other party. Because if let's say your assets are 2 million and then the other party let's say is 4 million, it's like it's him who owes you now 1 million because
Hey.
it's higher. At least
Yeah,
now
to
your
me.
will can work. Yeah, in other words, when
Okay.
I can say, okay, I'm giving my house to the children, it will happen. And then in reverse, the other party owes it 1 million. But if it's higher, it's the one which is higher, then you have a problem in respect of your will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay,
Another,
Annalisa, are you satisfied now?
no, another question I wanted to ask. Can you hear me?
Hey, and that
Yeah.
is the last one, so that we give other sessions. Ne?
Yes.
Mm.
Uh, how does this pension thing works? Does it start from the date of marriage?
The
Remember,
the patient,
for marriage. So does it
the
start
patient.
the pension funds?
Oh, okay. So
When does
okay,
it?
so it was not excluded. So it was not excluded.
It is included, but the
So in other words, yeah. So in other words, patient fund is forms part of accrual. Yeah,
but it
okay.
not
This one is complicated. Uh, I did that.
um
You say, but
30%, and I'm supposed to give the husband 20%.
mm,
Or you give him
you know,
20.
you know,
So
you
I
know,
can say,
okay,
let me
okay.
let me just
Let
understand
me
this
let
question.
me tell.
I'm
Mm,
trying to understand the question myself as well. Are you saying in the
mm,
agreement that you have made, your marriage contract, in case your marriage gets dissolved, you are
Yes,
to give him 20%.
yes,
He is to give you 30.
yes.
Okay.
okay. Okay. Let me try to explain. Okay, there's a law which regulates the this marriage regimes, and then there are definitions of what communal property with accrual and communal property without accrual means. And then what I've also realized is that there are people who are trying to, it's like people are trying to amend the law, what the law says, or change what the law says in their contract. And then the difficulty that these parties may face is upon divorce. If let's say they're divorced or one of them is to pass away, there's a possibility or a loophole that may find that some of the clauses are going to be challenged to this, to say this clause maybe is invalid or is against the law. In other words, parties can agree on anything that they want to or any conditions that they want to, as long as they are not against the law. So if the law itself is defining accrual in this way, now you find that people now are trying to navigate through those definitions or what the law says and doing their own terms, which at the end of the day, if you may find attorneys who are willing to fight, they may fight the terms of your contract. And then at the end, find that the contract is invalid. There are other, there's another matter, case law, I can't remember the name of the matter, where the pension fund refused to pay. It's like parties were doing a settlement agreement, then they agreed that this other party can be awarded. I think they say 50% or how many percent of the pension fund. Then the pension fund refused to pay, and then they were even successful in their argument because they were saying that these parties are married out of communal property. In other words, there's no sharing as such in terms of the agreement. In other words, parties are agreeing on something which is against the law.
Hi, Bo.
So in other words, in this matter, you may find that let's say now you divorce, and then remember on the second agreement, or you are going to state that parties are married out of communal property, and then now you find that there's that loophole that what is communal property without accrual? You have to share accrual. So now we have to ask ourselves: is that 30% or that 20% accrual? So I think there are many questions. It's a matter which possibility, there's a possibility that it can be challenged in court. You guys have to share accrual. And as I'm saying, accrual in terms of the law is described as value of your assets minus liabilities. Then we do the same on the other side. Then we share the difference. So there, maybe pension fund can pay, or you can have a challenge.
Hmm.
You can have a challenge.
Assis la vie. Okay, in the meantime, let us just remind everyone that is here to invite others. Invite others, guys. Mudi,
I'm
it's
not saying
quarter
that's
to
going to be a
8. How
problem, but I'm
much
just
more
saying that
time?
it's opening a loophole there.
Okay. How much more time are you
I know
giving us?
we can push. Maybe, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. All
That
right,
woman
let
just,
me
that woman just,
just check the comments
that
before
woman,
we go to the next person. They say we are clearly audible, and Olwazi was greeting us. Okay, thank you. You okay, Yonelisa?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you for
Okay,
clarifying.
thank you. All right. Let me
so, so,
remove you from
so
the
what people should
stage.
try to do, like, people, problem, I don't know, people, I don't know if they're not getting proper advices because Many people don't understand their marriage contracts. It's happening. They've seen it a lot. Some of them,
Okay.
you are going to understand the text of your contract on divorce. So it's a problem. People should understand their contracts. And then in contract law, many lawyers know there should not be loopholes. It's like your contract should not be challengeable. It becomes a
Yeah.
problem because all divorce parties will be fighting up and down, jumping like kangaroos because of
Ah,
terms in their contract.
yes.
That's a
Hi,
problem.
Sibuzi. Hi, Sibuzi. Sibuzi. Going once. You are muted. Unmute yourself. Ah, Sibuzi. Siyandlula futhi ke. Now we're passing you for the second time. Let us try Vukani. Hello, Vukani. Vukani Mhlongo.
And something about Yonelisa. Okay, as you're still trying to talk to other person to invite some person, because there's also a question: what happens now if the other party can resign and take his pension fund?
Hey.
Are they not
Mina
shared?
yes,
Can you hear me?
they did that to me.
They not shared. One resign.
It happens a lot. Yeah,
Mudi,
I-
I've been through
I didn't get
that.
that.
When one
Yonelisa,
resign.
hey.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Based on what Mudi is saying, I'm asking if one of died, are the pensions not
Are the pensions not?
shared according to the percentages?
I didn't get that, Yonelisa. You said that if one resign, what? Mm.
If
Mm.
one resign, funds not shared.
Mm.
The pension fund.
No, remember this all these regimes sharing of assets only happen on the dissolution of marriage. It's only when the marriage is dissolved by death or by divorce. So during marriage, people are resigning. What happens is that if especially those who are in communal property, if you can see that your pension fund is fresh, or even if it's not fresh, there are many people who find it easy for them to get new employment. What happens that before they divorce, they just resign, they take their pension fund, whatever. After that, they start with the divorce. You are not going to
Okay.
share pension fund during the executive marriage. You are not entitled to it. It's his pension fund. You can do whatever you want with it. So many people are doing it. They're resigning. If you can, that's the main problem which parties are finding. People are resigning, taking their money. You don't have a say in someone's man. It's only when you guys dissolve. Even this accord that we're talking about, you are only going to do these calculations only when the marriage is dissolved, which is by death or by divorce. In other words, some party can divorce today, then after a year, then they initiate divorce after hiding their pension funds or whatever. So with out of communal property, it's even worse. They can even sell their assets, and then after that they divorce. Find that the time that they're divorcing, they don't have anything. So in other words, they're going to share from your side of the assets. So there are many loopholes that we are seeing in contracts. Like you should ask yourself, what happened if this doesn't happen? What happened if this doesn't happen?
Mm.
So that's why I say better leave pension funds alone.
Ne? Hi. Okay, let's move on to Vugani. Vugani, hello.
Hello.
How are
Thank you.
you, Vugani?
I'm good. And how are you?
But I think yeah, but with here actually in a position to advise.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, we can hear you, Vugani.
I thought, oh, you can, okay.
So-
Shoot, Vugani. Shoot.
Yeah, my question is on customary marriage, more especially the unregistered ones. Is it only the
Yeah.
High Court can dissolve them, or so the regional court can dissolve them?
Okay. In terms of the law itself, is a competent court can dissolve the marriage, customary marriage, and then a competent court, in terms of jurisdiction, it defines a regional court. In other words, it's a magistrate court. In the magistrate court, there's a magistrate court, and then in the same court there's a regional court, and then there's a high court. So in other words, both magistrate court or high court can dissolve the marriage regimes. But what has been happening in many areas, and I've seen it even here where I'm practicing, just that I don't practice anymore in the magistrate court, I practice only in high court. There are magistrate court which are refusing to grant dates to parties who are married in terms of customary marriage. They are telling them to go and register the marriage first before they can allocate a date for hearing, which is against what the law says. And then it is also denying some parties their legal rights to take matters to court. Because now, if you're asking a person who wants to divorce to go and register a marriage, that marriage you can only register it if the other party is agreeing to registration, which he won't be willing to do because the parties are already in the process of divorce. Then now the other way is to make an application to court for the court to order registration of a marriage. In other words, it's like just burdening people with unnecessary things. They were not supposed to be doing that. They were supposed to be dissolving marriages. When I started to work on customary marriages, I was using magistrate court. I don't know who told them not to do it anymore, but it's against the law. The law said that they can deal with any dispute and then they can dissolve these marriages. They've got power to do so.
Yes, yes, because I was also getting conflicting answers on that. But yes, a lot, Mr. Mavhengani.
Yeah, but the problem is that you cannot argue. Remember, if let's say they give you a date in court and then you are in front of the magistrate, that's where at least you can take it forward. If they dismiss the matter, then you can take it forward. But now what they're doing, they're just denying to give you a date. In other words, you are not even there yet, but they're denying a date. So it becomes a problem now to challenge it. And sometimes these practices are not worth it to be challenging magistrate or whatever. Because another way to do it is to do a moratorium to say they must put it in writing that they are not giving me a date and why are they not giving me a date? Because they're not supposed to give people dates. If in their understanding they're saying people are not married, then they have to give it a ruling after hearing the matter, and then they must decide that no, this matter is invalid, this marriage is invalid, so that at least people can appeal them and take it higher, further, or to the higher court to say this magistrate made an error by saying that the marriage is not registered. Because there's no confusion at all. I just think that people, I don't know what's happening, because a customary marriage is valid whether it's registered or not. But now if you are finding magistrate court which are declining to offer dates or to hear the matters because the marriage is not registered, we may ask ourselves what's the purpose of the law then if you say that registration or failure to register doesn't affect the validity of the marriage. I think it's failure on our part or on some parts of the magistrate. Some magistrates are hearing them, some are refusing to hear them.
Yes, yes. No, thanks a lot for.
Okay, you're welcome, Bugan.
All right, thank you so much. You are answered, Vugani. You are happy.
Yes,
I can see Miss.
All right, can we move on to Nobuthe? Before we do so, someone was asking in the comment section if they can ask questions. Judy Locks, yes, you can ask questions, dear. Just type it there, will come to you. And for people who are in attendance, please invite others. This is very valuable information that everyone has to hear about it. Before we come to Nobuthe, the question says, when you sign at court, are you given options or the marriage automatically is COP?
Oh, okay. Okay, first of all, people no longer sign at the magistrate court. Even the person who's asking, I think when they abolish it, they were not even born. It was somewhere in 1994, 1995.
Yes, they
So
sign at
people
the
no longer sign. Yeah, we sign at home affairs, or we sign before a marriage officer. There are pastors or religious leaders who have passed these exams offered by Home Affairs to become marriage officers. So those are called marriage officers. They can sign at church or with Home Affairs. And then Home Affairs doesn't get involved whether you're married in or out of communal property. They don't even want to know. It's not their business. So what happens is that the parties themselves have to enter into a marriage contract, or which is we call a prenup or an antemutual contract before the marriage. And then this contract is registered with the registry office, where usually people know it about because it registered the title deeds of properties or transfer of properties. So it's registered there, but not.
Sorry, Mudi, please repeat that. Are you telling me that if we go to sign at Home Affairs, there won't be any question like, are you signing in community of property or out of community of property? There won't be
You
that
can find
question.
someone. You can find someone who has a good heart like me, who will just
Okay.
ask you, "Do you want to get married in community or out of community of property?" Why are you laughing? It's like I don't have a good heart. How? Uh, but- so it is not
Mudi.
their it's not their
Eh,
business. Yeah, even my
mhm,
wife doesn't think that I've got a good heart.
eh,
With women, they don't trust us. So what happened is that
mm,
marriage, the purpose of home affairs or of the marriage officer is to solemnize the marriage. Solemnize the marriage is just to say, I so and so, I'm taking this person as my wife, my ini through death, or one of those things that we promise each other when it's still well. The purpose to do that.
mm.
Whether you're married in or out of communal
So
property,
it's to
they don't
tell
even
the
record.
government that Satandana.
They don't even record it anywhere. Previously, during that time before 1993, they used to note there on the marriage certificate that you are married in or out of communal property. But since then, it's not that. It's like they don't even. It's not a baby. And then the issue is that if you marry without an antenual contract, you are automatically in communal property. So what Home Affairs does is like you just book for marriage, you go there and solemnize the marriage. Then, if you are lucky with many home affairs, is that they will advise you that if you want to marry out of communal property, you should go and see the notary public, and then at least you should come with proof that you have seen a notary public. Then, when we do the contracts, usually we give them certificates or just a letter to say that this person has indeed come and see me for a marriage contract. But they just put that document with the marriage register and file it, but they don't get involved. It's not their baby.
All right. Okay. Let's move on to Nobutle. Hi, Nobutle. Good evening, Nobutle. Nobu? Nobutle, you are muted if you're trying to tell us. Oh, Nobutle has sent a question in the comment
Mm,
section. She
mm,
says, I am married in community of property.
mm,
Honestly, we are good with Mr. We both
mm,
want to go into separate businesses.
mm.
How do we protect each other and our home assets and the wealth, the home wealth? That's her
No,
question.
the only way to protect themselves here is to change maybe their marriage regime to out of communal property without accrual. Because what happens is that if they are running businesses, the wife will probably need a startup loan maybe to start a business. So when she apply for that loan, usually the financiers are going to ask her to sign as surety. Because remember, they're not going to give her money if she's starting a business. They don't even know if that business is going to work or not. So they're going to ask her to sign as surety. And then surety just simply means that if a company doesn't pay back the debt, then yeah, she's going to pay. So once she's signed as surety, she's binding herself. But now, because she's in community property, she's binding herself, in other words, with her partner, or she's binding the whole joint estate. If the business doesn't do well, she doesn't pay back the financiers, then they're going to sue the business and also sue her. Automatically, they're also going to sue her husband. In other words, they're going to sue three parties now for the repayment of their man. And then, if let's say the business doesn't have money, then they can end up attaching the assets of these parties.
Okay.
In other words, if you are in risk if you are running a business in communal property.
So Nobutle, you are here. I don't know if you can unmute yourself and just tell us that you are satisfied or not, or will you type in the comment section again to tell us if you are answered or not? And then in the meantime, are you gonna tell us or you gonna type, Nobutle? All right. While she's still deciding what to do, or she says, how soon can we resolve the matter? So, in other words, how soon can they do that?
Remember,
That is
okay,
advice.
okay. I'll talk about, let's say, what I'm doing. So with us, we can estimate a period of around 3 months. But I don't know with others. Remember, we don't work in the same pace. So with us, we can just estimate a period of about 3 months to do it. Because what has happened now is that application that we discussed last week, that the parties have
Yes,
to approach court with
yes,
application, with the
yes.
draft contract to be approved. Then we
Yes.
advertise in government gazette. And then we also send the notice to creditors to indicate that these parties are changing from in communal property to out of communal property. So after that, the court will grant an order, and then after that, they sign the contract, and then we register the contract. So we can estimate about 3 months.
Nobutle, I think he would love this one. Mudi, she says, can we meet with him to assist us because we want to buy restaurants and other assets separately? I really do think you'd love to have them.
I don't want to meet anyone. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, we can assist them because this is the most simple application that our office does.
Yes.
The most simple application that we do.
Nobutle, towards the end of,
or you can DM me or send me a message or get my number after the show. Then we can assist them.
Yes, towards
and then
the end
also understand that it is a joint application, as we discussed last week, that both parties have to be in agreement. It cannot be only about her. If the husband is not agreeing, then she cannot do it.
Yes. Did you hear that? You can't do it alone, Butle. You'll have to have your husband in attendance if you really want to do that. And towards the she says she will email you. All right.
Okay,
I guess she does have the email, but towards the end of this live, we're gonna give Mudi's contacts as to where can you meet him, where can you make contact with him if you really do need him. And then Ndibuo will come to you. Let's give Messi. Messi, do you have anything that you'd like to ask?
No, Messi.
Messi. Butle, should I remove you from the panel? Messi. Okay. And then we get to Ndibuo.
Messi. Messi works for Home Affairs. I know her personally.
Okay,
there's
another
seminar that one invited me, so I was.
Yeah, she knows these things anyway. Ndibuo has a question. Her question says, I am married ICOP and I have a company which is PTY Limited. So what I want to know is, in case of divorce, is my partner entitled to 50% of the company?
Okay. Remember, with joint estate, they share everything equally. In other words, now they have to value the company and see what is the company worth. In other words, if the company is worth 1 million, then Vele is entitled to 500,000. Because remember, with communal property, you don't share assets in isolation. Okay. It's all assets and then all liabilities. So when it comes to the company, it has to be evaluated. It will be the company's assets minus liabilities, whatever. It's like the accountants can do those calculations until they get the value of the company. Then that value has to be shared. In other words, if let's say the company's value together with the houses, pension funds, all assets is 10 million, at the end of the day, each party should have 5 million.
Are you answered?
It's not a matter. It's not a matter of I'm running a company and then tomorrow my wife is also a director. It's like she's also a boss in my company. No, we have to evaluate all the assets.
I hope Ndibu is answered. Ndibu, are you happy?
Yeah. Good day. I'm here. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are very audible.
Okay. Quick one. I think the question is coming as a result of arguments between me and these other friends that we do have. They are alluding that the partner is entitled to, normally with company, the value of company obviously is subject to the financial statement. After paying SARS and everyone, meaning that it has to be valued annually. A company, each and every time when you subject it to evaluation, they have to take into consideration that in each and every financial year, SARS need to be paid its own money. that talks to VAT as well, other liabilities as well. So our issue of concern was another one is saying she's entitled to dividends, not the company itself. Is that the case or not?
Dividends, okay.
No, I'm trying to ask myself: is it on divorce or during marriage?
On divorce.
No. I think that would not be the case, because remember now what happened is that we have to, okay, if let's say you're partners in a you're co-directors in a firm, the other party, let's say now we have to value the interest of the other party in the business, or the value of the business in respect of that other party. That person has to share that value. So with dependence, maybe that person may have to share with their other spouse, but it doesn't get dividends directly from the company, especially the directors. There's another case law. I want to know the name as I'm sitting, but I can check the name. In that case law, I think it was the wife who wanted also to sit in meetings of the company. Then the court heard that she's not a director by virtue of marriage or by virtue of divorce in that company. So in a company, it's complicated. If there's a way of the company is worth 2 million, then maybe 2 million is yours because you are hold 50% of the interest in the business. I've hold 500,000. In other words, now I'm the one who's liable to maybe either I buy her off or whatever, but we're entitled to this 1 million. But it won't be dividends every year. She has to get something. It won't be the case.
Okay, will this be applicable in both CC and PTY Limited? Because by definition, both of them are not the same.
I know that this case law was dealing with PTY Ltd. But remember, these are different because a PTY Ltd is a separate entity on its own, whereas with a CC, you are a member. In other words, it's yourself. In other words, I think there maybe you may have problems on a CC, because a CC is like myself. It's not a separate person. It's myself. I'm a member. It's like you become a member, whereas in PTY Ltd you become a director of a separate entity. So I've never dealt with a matter maybe.
Okay, in the absence of reaching consensus or agreeing to one having an agreement, can the other party initiate liquidation for as much as it's separate liquidity? I mean to say let it be liquidated, and so that whatever that the company is worth, the other partner can get whatever equal share, whatever. What is the worst case scenario? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Talking about a party, okay, the other party is not a party to a business.
Yeah, it's not party to a business. It's a party because of the type of marriage that the marriage regime. Which
no, they don't become a party. They don't become a party as such to the business. That's what I'm trying to explain. It's like we value the interest. It's not going to be sitting in the board or taking dividends every year.
And through the lawyers, they cannot initiate liquidity, can they?
The other parties.
Yeah, I mean, let's say it's me and my wife, and I'm the sole director of the PTY Limited company, and we cannot reach consensus in terms of we are about to separate. Then, in the absence of agreeing, can the other party, which is my wife, by then approach the court and request for the company to be liquidated?
No. I don't think they're going to be successful, because remember, liquidation occurs if, let's say, maybe you are unable to pay your liability, something like that. So if you are still married or you have not divorced, then there's no liability. You don't owe the other party anything. So what happens is that you guys can divorce, and then they are going to value all assets, not in isolation. All assets have to be valued. Then when it comes to business, you are going to say that the value of the business is this amount. If you find that you are evaluating the business, then the value is zero. It means that when you don't have that asset, in other words, we are not going to take it into account. But if let's say now they evaluate you, they find that no, that asset is 100,000. In other words, when you have 100,000, you say that you can give a 50,000 to buy it out or whatever, but they're not going to liquidate the company because the company is a separate person. It's not you; it's a separate person.
Okay, I think I'm
You are satisfied now.
Just that in litigation, remember, as lawyers, we have all tactics. We can try to scare you, push you under the bus, and then when you're scared of losing the company, we'll even tell you that we are going to liquidate the company. But what are we going to say to court? Are we going to say that we are divorcing this person, we are liquidating the company? It's going to be difficult.
Okay.
It's in other words, you are not the same person. You are not the same person as the company. It's a separate asset, but it belongs to you. In other words, we have to evaluate the company to get the value of the company. Then we can say that okay, the husband asset is 100,000. It's like it is just be evaluated, then we get the value.
Okay. I've got a second question that's not in relation with the company.
Okay.
Am I welcome to ask it?
Yeah, you can ask.
The question is, I've got this other friend of mine. She was impregnated by one of this gentleman. Upon her being impregnated, the family of the gentleman went to her family to pay damages. While they were there, they ended up asking the hand in marriage, which means they need 2 in 1 in all fairness. So and they were given a price to say 10 rand in order for you to marry her. Out of the 10 rand, they paid a portion to say we are leaving you with 20 rand. We'll come back and pay the balance. The two couldn't make it together. They went separate ways. So the question that I'm posing unto you is this a customary recognized kind of marriage or what?
I wish you were here last week.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, I did discuss this issue. So what happened is that
Tim, please mute. Tim.
Okay. Yeah. Also, okay. These parties are probably married, and this is something that we discussed last week. That there are people that when you send to pay damages, when they get there, they drink people's tea and scones there, and alcohol. Yeah, they start to think that no man, hey, our son is too old. We should get married. He has children all over, but now it should settle. Or the lady's family, they can decide that no, this one is eating our food. She's finishing our grocery. She has to get home. So what happens is that usually they end up negotiating Lobola, whereas the people was not to initiate Lobola to engage in Lobola. But the problem is that they inform the parties the same day. Parties are agreeing that you can proceed to do it. And then we stated last week that some just do it as a form of surprise. Or maybe if let's say we have our difficulties, maybe we are just about to break up. Maybe I did something as a guy. What I do is that I just immediately send people to say, I want to marry you. And then now you are too excited, you are too happy. Then those parties are married. So it is better if, let's say, you find yourself in that position where parties were supposed to negotiate Lobola today, and then when also to negotiate damages, then when I didn't give them mandate to Lobola, when they call you to say, hey, Pela Wajigele in this house, they're saying that we should proceed with Lobola negotiations. When they call, just deny and tell them that no, they must leave those scones there. You'll buy them other scones at somewhere at the shop. Or if let's say they proceed to do that without your permission, immediately when it's better to approach court and nullify that marriage. Tell the court what happened that we never had an agreement that we want to get married. This marriage must be declared null and void. But do it immediately. So because what's happening is that parties are not doing it immediately. They are waiting until they break up. Then that's when they raise the issue that no, there was no agreement to get married. Now I send my family to pay Lobola. But you were aware when they came back that they paid Lobola instead of damages. What did you do about it? Now you are raising it after 5 years because you are separating or because the other party is serving you with the divorce papers, it becomes a difficult case to fight.
Oh,
Wow.
So the
okay.
marriage is
So
valid. The marriage is
does
valid.
that mean if she want to dissolve this one, she need to
Mm.
approach the court? Because apparently, I mean, for as much as when they were there
Mm.
for uh, point A, and they ended up doing point A. Then after doing point A, then they did B as well. So it
Yeah.
means both of them.
But the issue is that she was aware of point B, and then both parties were aware of point B. Usually, they're not going to just do it without you aware. They'll inform the parties on the day, and then even if they say they didn't inform the parties, then the following day the parties were aware that we got married, and I'll take it that they were also staying together as husband and wife. So just imagine now, after years, the other party saying we are married, you came and paid Lobola, there was an agreement. Then your defense is that no, I was there to pay damages. I wasn't even aware that they're paying Lobola. But when are you raising it? It becomes a problem. So last week I was saying that parties should try to do it as early as possible. The court will understand if you bring an application the same week or the same month that it was an error. But to bring it yes or after years, it becomes a challenge because remember the other party will be denying what we're saying. They'll get good lawyers, will be denying everything. They'll be saying no, these parties came and paid damages and nobody the same day there was an agreement. So it will be you with a story that it was an error, I didn't do it, I didn't agree. But you were aware, why are you raising it now? Because the other party is divorcing you.
Mm.
Okay, so meaning that even when the marriage can be recognized, even though it was only partially paid and there was no celebration. That's all you're saying.
There's another case law that I posted on my Facebook account, I think last year, where there has been paid 100 rand. Then
Yo.
the buyer has been paid 100 rand. The lady was divorcing after 20 years. Then the guy was trying to run around and jumping up and down. 100 rand. It was on newspapers. So it doesn't matter how much Lobola has been paid. There's another case law in passing which also stated that once the parties negotiate Lobola and agree on an amount of Lobola, then the marriage is done.
Even without a
Paying
cent
any.
being paid on that day.
Yeah. That case law
So
says so.
that means ukokota because sometimes they go and kokota.
The
Okay,
Kokota,
but
the negotiation reached. It's like in other words, an agreement was reached.
Mm.
okay. So
Yeah.
how long does it take to dissolve this kind of marriage? Is it supposed to be a marriage where lawyers need to send out summons and the procedure must
It's like
go out?
it's like any other marriage divorce. There has to be summons issued by court, served by the
Yo, it's a
sheriff.
long
Then if it's
process.
not opposed, if it's not opposed after then 10 days, then you apply for a court date. Then you set the matter down for hearings, like any other divorce matters. Then if it's not uh, being opposed and then parties are in agreement, they can take as early as uh, 6 weeks to 2 months, 3 months. If parties are not fighting, they are cooperating. Because what you do now here, you also, when you give the documents to the sheriff, the summons to the sheriff, you can even ask or call the other party to say, the summons are there with the sheriff, please go and fetch the summons, so that the sheriff must not go around looking for that person to serve because it can take time. So to speed the process, the other party can go and even fetch the summons from the sheriff so that you can, yeah. And then after doing this, you apply for a court date. Parties can even enter into a settlement agreement, and then it's finalized as soon as 6 weeks to 3 months.
Okay. Thank you so
But if
much,
they are
Mudi.
fighting, but if they are fighting, the honest answer will be we don't know how long it's going to take.
No, it may take years if they are fighting.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Before we move on to Mindos, Ndibuo, are you okay now?
Yes, I'm definitely okay. I don't want to
Okay.
utilize a lot of time, and
All right.
people
Mindos,
are on the
before
queue.
before I come to your question, Mindos, I will have to take Masrame's one first because it's related to what has just been said, ne? And yours is a little bit different. So that is the only reason why I'm getting to Masrame. So don't be angry and say I'm jumping you. Masrame says, as she was listening to Ndibo, he said paying damages for pregnancy. How did it go to Lobola? She thinks it's two different things, most or what? So how did it go to
These
Lobola
are
where
different things.
these people were going to pay damages only?
It's happening a lot. We are talking about someone who's not a child. We're not talking about an 18-year-old or a 21-year-old. We're talking about someone who want it's like maybe it's your father, maybe he's living with your mom in the same house, but I can see that it's like now I've got 2 wives. Oh,
I'm
and then
tired.
yeah, so
I'm
usually these
tired of
things
the
are
other
going
one.
to sorry. Maybe at home they don't want you anymore. Maybe at home they don't want you anymore.
Mm,
So what happened is that okay, you are an adult, you are living under my roof. Sometimes you come anytime you want. Sometimes you sleep out. It's like you are a woman in my house. It's like now I've got 2 wives or 3 wives, and then maybe you also have children. Now you are expecting another children.
mm, mm,
When in other words, you're adding another child. So in other words, if I can get rid of you and rid of the newborn, it's like it's minus one problem.
It is the truth there. And
And then
sometimes even the family that is sent to the
yeah,
to go and pay damages, they go there. Maybe they like the mother of the son of the child that they are going to pay damages for. They
or
go
or
there with
or
their
or the husband to be already has 5 children outside. It's like different mothers.
hey,
He's an
they are tired
adult,
of him.
he's working, he has property, he's changing girls like I don't know. Then
Hey,
it's like every parent wishes something good for their children.
yes,
So
yes,
usually they just wish that no, it's like my son can cycle with one wife. And then maybe
yes.
this lady is good. Maybe be telling him to get married to her, but he was refusing. And then
Hey,
on the other side, the lady is like they just see that no man, you can have a future with this guy. Maybe they know the man. You can have a future with
mm,
this guy. It's like they're going to agree.
mm.
Yeah. So
And it
damages on
happens
its
a
own
lot.
is not Lobola. The damages on its own is not Lobola, but many people end up agreeing on marriages. And remember, it's not like parties are not aware. Parties are made aware. If it's let's
Yes.
say is
Yeah,
my
because
father
when
went
they
there or
come
my
back, they are happy. They're like, when we got there, we even said part of it. It's
they're,
now
go-
full of color.
they're even going to call you before they proceed. You say, hey,
Hey,
but Jigile, in this family, they said you cannot do damages without paying
hey,
Lobola.
yeah.
And then remember, we are still in love. Then what we do is
Mm,
that we proceed with do lobolas. It doesn't happen if parties have already broken up and then now I'm just sending my people to pay lobola. It doesn't happen. It happens
yes,
usually because we are also still in love. Then we
yes,
agree, and then after 10 years, that's when now we're trying to raise the issue that there was no agreement. There was agreement.
that is true. Okay, we have another question there by Mindlos in the comment section. Mindlos says, if I have registered an NPO, will it have any implications when I apply for admission with LPC?
No, no, I don't think there'd be any problem. Just that in his application, he's saying LPC.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Mingus is that
maybe
one that was here last week. He said he's
a
studying
student.
law. Yes.
No.
He's a
Okay, what
student.
happened is that after completing their LLB and passing the board exams and some courses, they have to apply to be admitted as an attorney. So in other words, they just have to disclose in their affidavit or in their applications to say that I am the owner of this company and this company. They just have to disclose. It might be a problem. You are not dishonest in your application. We are hiding some assets. It's like even a criminal offense. If you have been convicted of a criminal offense, they'll tell you that you can be admitted as an attorney. It's not always the case. It just will be a case which is dealing with dishonesty or honesty of a person. So, but disclose it in your applications. If you have a criminal record, disclose it in an application. Maybe you were young, you were driving under the influence of alcohol, but I was young, I've changed. It's like
Oh
explain
yes.
everything in your application so that the court can be aware. Then I don't think
Honestly.
they're going to disclose. But if you are going to proceed to do an application, you don't disclose the companies that you have, and then when they do investigation, they find out they are going to raise an objection at LPC to say this person should not be admitted in court because there's this and that, and then they didn't disclose. Then when now you are going to come on a big foot trying to supplement or amend your papers to say I have a company. So what? Why didn't you disclose the company, or why did
Yes.
you disclose it? It's like
Timmy, we're not all the time. You're not muty, my brother. All right. Thank you so much for that question. I hope, Mindlos, you are answered. Please tell us in the comment section if you are satisfied. Can we move on to Teresia or Gina? Which one first? Teresia, you are unmuted. Gina? You are muted, Gina. Or let's take Teresia. Teresia, do you have any question for Mudi? Teresia? Okay, Gina? Oh, Gina is out. Okay, team, each time I take you back, there is a lot of background noise. I don't know. Let me add you for the last time, team. Maybe. Okay, Teresia. Messi, you still don't have anything to say? If that's the case, then I don't know. Yonelisa, are you happy? Oh, wait, there are questions in the comment section, I think. Oh, Gina says no questions. Okay, thank you, Gina. Nobutle says Siyabonga Puti. I'll check the full video on Mudi's Facebook page. All right. Thank you so much. Looks like everyone that's here is happy. We are done for the day. So, sir, any closing words? And where do we find you?
I think today we discussed a lot about contracting. So
Yes.
before people sign, they should understand their contracts. Yeah, they should not allow that process where maybe they just go somewhere, they just sign that picture that they're signing a marriage contract. They should understand the marriage contract. If they don't understand the marriage contract before they sign, they can ask for a copy of that marriage contract so that they can have second. Because there are people that you find that maybe, let's say it's a husband or a wife who does not want to get married in communal property, or they want to get married maybe and insert other terms and conditions in the marriage contract. But I find that the other party doesn't understand. But that only one person understands the terms of the contract, the other party doesn't. So it's better to ask for a copy so that you can have second opinion. Then you understand your contract before you sign. Because remember, the contract is something which is going to regulate your marriage for the rest of your life. It becomes a problem when you are already in and then you are finding the consequences. So people should understand their contract. There are people who book contracting with us just for us to explain their contract, but I find that it's late because they are already married. And with us, usually, you are going to be stressed. You leave our office stressed. Other clients will even say that I came here for consultation, but it's like you are more stressed. It's because now you are understanding the consequences of what you entered into.
Actually,
and so you have a problem.
Mudi Umjolo is just a lot of complication. When coming to legalities, if you want to legalize it, you want to formalize it. Hi man, there's just too much. Oh, you know what?
Yeah, people
you have made me think it's a good idea that I stay singer. I really know.
No, with me, if I can say maybe someone is to get married, the best option is to get married out of your property without accrual. There are no complications. There are no calculations. You don't calculate anything. It's like it's life. I don't know. Because accrual has many problems. There's lots of calculations. When the relationship is not going well, parties can start to act fine. It's like it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, it's like it's more complicated than communal property.
Yeah. Okay. Lwazi Tim says he wants us to talk about forfeiture next time, please. Mudi, are you telling us that this is our very, very last time we see you? Aren't you gonna maybe go for some time and maybe later on, some months and again, you can come back?
I'll come back. I'll come back. I'll come back. Yeah. Please. I'll come back and then we'll discuss. Then, if you maybe can talk this on forfeiture of patrimonial benefits of the marriage. It happens in the instance. Let me give an example. Let me say I'm getting married to you, And then when let's say you have pension funds or you have assets already, or if you have a house, then I'm getting married to you. Remember, if let's say it happens that we divorce, we are now uh, co-owners of those properties that you have. Like in other words, for the purpose of divorce, pension fund forms part of your estate. In other words, I'm entitled to half of your pension fund, and then I'm
Yes.
also entitled to half your house. I'm entitled to half of your investments. In other words, and then I'm only entitled to these assets just because I'm married to you. So when they say forfeiture of benefits of the marriage, it's like now the other party is asking that I must not be awarded some of your assets or all of your assets because of the marriage. In other words, they are in the court that indeed, even if maybe parties are in common property, they have to share pension fund. This one should forfeit or should not be awarded 50% of my pension fund.
Mm.
You have to specify what is it that you want the other party to forfeit. And then a party can only forfeit what is acquiring by virtue of marriage. They don't
Okay.
forfeit their own assets. In other words, if they bought a property together during marriage, you cannot ask the court to order that I forfeit the house because now it's part of my house. I can only forfeit what belongs to you, but which I'm acquiring just because I'm married to you.
Mm.
And then there has to be grounds for forfeiture of benefits. The first ground is that the marriage must be for a short period. In other words, they take into account the duration of the marriage. If parties, let's say, we're getting married today, then after 2 weeks we divorce. If you get a good lawyer who can claim forfeiture against maybe let's say all your assets, pension funds, your houses, they probably stand a good chance to win that case because they can just say that no, these parties were only married for 2 weeks, so it shouldn't be unjustified, or the other party maybe will unduly benefit if he was to awarded half of all my assets. In other words, the court will definitely understand that no man, it won't be fair to award this guy 50% of the pension fund, investment, and properties. So they look at the
Okay.
duration of the marriage. But all this has to be stated in your first court papers because if they are not in your first court papers, you don't just go to court and raise it. Even if the court is feeling sorry for you, it's not going to award it because it's not in your paper. Then the second ground will be substantial misconduct by the other party. Even though the
Mm.
courts now are shining away from this reason or from this ground, they still use it. In other words, if the other party's conduct is substantially referred to as misconduct, then the court can order that the other party must
Misconduct, like maybe cheating. So,
cheating. Cheating. They no longer take cheating as serious as before. These days, the judge will even tell you that no, it's a choice. If they want to cheat, maybe now you're cheating more, just that the other part doesn't have proof. But usually, let's say now he cheated. Okay, there's another case where the lady left the husband with the children. I think the children, she left for years, and then she was staying with other men around. Then another time she came back with a baby. It's like the guy was surprised. How when I have a baby, she said yes, I've got a baby. Then she comes again with another baby. Then the guy in that case he claimed forfeiture of benefits, I think, in respect of his pension fund. The court awarded him. So there are conduct that you can see that our this conduct, whatever. If you want to do that,
that
it's
one
better to
was
divorce.
totally out of order. Yo.
If it's just a
Yo.
mere cheating, I don't think the court is going to grant it.
All right. Nolwazi
Yes.
has got the scenario for you here.
Mm,
Nolwazi says, before you go, please attend to this matter. X is married to Y and they later separate, but they do not
mm,
divorce. Then Y
mm.
moves on and marries Z in civil marriage. What are the legal implications thereof?
Okay. In order for the second marriage to occur in civil, is because the first marriage was not registered. If the first marriage was registered, Home Affairs was going to pick it up. They were not going to allow the second marriage to occur because the other party is already uh, married. So I'll take it that the first marriage was not registered. So that's why the second marriage managed to happen. And then, as you have stated before, usually the first marriage is a customary marriage.
Mm,
A customary marriage is valid whether or not it is registered.
mm,
And a customary marriage can only be dissolved by death of one of the parties or by divorce.
mm,
So, in other words, if the first party to the marriage is still alive and then the parties have not divorced, they are still married in terms of the law. And then, if
mm,
parties are married in this case, in terms of section I think section 10 of the Act itself. It says that a party who is a party in a customary marriage cannot enter into a civil marriage with any other person. He can only enter into a civil marriage with the same partner that he is with in the customary marriage. Then this means that the second marriage, which is civil marriage, is not valid because this husband is or the wife is still party to the first marriage. They have to divorce first before they can marry again. The marriage is invalid, but it has to be challenged in court in order for it to be rendered invalid.
Okay. Because she carried on and said legal implications on what will happen to X if X files for what will happen if X files for the divorce when Y is already married with Z.
I think we are doing that a lot.
So
we are doing it a lot. We are just going to treat it. We are going to treat it as if that second wife Nyana is not even there. In other words, we are going to deal with divorce directly.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you get married to the person, you must ask them.
Okay. Yonelisa again has another question. Is moving from accrual to no accrual expensive as moving in and out? I think I failed.
They say
needed price Mudi.
Is the same amount. In other words, changing regime or changing conditions is just the same as change of marriage. Doesn't matter where you're changing from to where is the same amount. So you can only compare it with a prenup. A prenup, remember, you do it before you even get married. So usually prenup is cheaper than changing. Changing includes the whole application to court.
Yes.
Yeah, so compared to
okay, no, Nolwazi was asking if I did see her question. I did see your question, Nolwazi. I did ask it, and maybe to get the clear answer again, we'll have to watch the live again. Remember, check around 1 hour 40 minutes. That's where the answer would be, towards 1 hour 40 minutes into the live. That's where the answer is. And when all are done, I would like to speak and thank him for agreeing to come here. Oh, Nolwazi wants to speak to you. Where are you now, Nolwazi? So that you can thank, here you are. So let's add her to the live because she says when we are done, which we are. No, before Nolwazi, we give you a chance. Let's talk back to Yonelisa. Yone, are you okay now? Are you answered? Are you fully answered?
Yeah, silence. Yeah, I think she has more questions and more questions and more questions.
I know. It's like in her mind,
but
you like there's a lot that is playing there. Like, she's not gonna sleep tonight.
These things are better to find out when you're still happily married than finding out through the process of divorce.
Good. I also agree.
During marriage, you can agree to amend your contract or to change your marriage contract. Yeah, so it's better to have those problems when you're still married.
Yeah. Loazi? No, Loazi? Yes.
Away,
Likai?
No, I'm talking to Mudi. Away,
okay.
My little friend. I want to say thank you, Mr. Mavhengani, for agreeing when I reached out about this, because Cecilia had been pestering me for months to have the legal seat. Yeah, and I want to thank our Facebook friend behind you as well for allowing you to have Wednesdays with us and not with her. You know, that Facebook friend who keeps laughing when you say you have a good heart.
And she was there, Kanibal. Did you see her? She was there, Kanibal. She was there to meet
Those are people that know you very well. This is hard. That's what you're talking about.
I saw her at the carnival, and unfortunately, I was But thank you very much for coming. I know that after your exams, you're gonna come back. You must come back. And I hope everyone that requested this live to happen for this month, they understand that they need to call Mavhengani attorneys and actually make appointments to have consultations with Mudi or with any other lawyer that is there. It does not mean if it's not attending to you, the case will not be won. It will still be won. It's Mavhengani attorneys either way, so it will win and come back with a won case. Just because
they must not think that I'm laughing at the problems when I laugh, because even in the office sometimes you come with a problem, we laugh
and then
we laugh.
You know, I was laughing the other day when you said you went to the bathroom just to go and laugh.
No, I was lying. I was lying. Hey, no.
There are cases that arrive, right? There are cases that arrive that you hear that you need to laugh a bit. You like laugh and it's like.
We just know you are kidding. We just know you are joking, Mudi.
Yeah, but we should laugh about our problems, because some of the things you cannot change. You are already in, so that's better sometimes to laugh about it. It's like, even if, let's say, you're in the process of divorce, come on, just laugh. This issue of depression will kill you. Just sit down, learn from your mistake, laugh about it. And then people should also understand the issue of community property. It's not actually 50-50. Some of you are going to be child, especially women these days. You are being child. So just be child. You learn from your mistake, move on with your life. Because you find that now parties are trying to share the joint estate, but there's difference maybe of 10,000 or 20,000. Then when you are jumping up like a kangaroo, jump like a, I don't know. And then at the end of the day, it's your emotions, your stress, your time, you are paying lawyers. You're paying lawyers on the other side. At the end of the day, the difference is 10,000. You're fighting for 10,000 an hour. Then I just give him. Just give him. And then, or just give him. Then you separate.
Cecilia.
Yes,
Cecilia. You know, Mudi's hating my feelings. I was child with my legal background.
But that's right. But now you're laughing. Now she's talking about it.
You are still standing, you are alive, you are
and she's laughing about it. So that's what I love about life. Just move on. There are people who are on medication. Some of them are my clients. They're on medication because of depression. So I want it to be bad. So then I just laugh about it. Sometimes after divorce, we even tell them to go, give them direction to Mrs. Benz. Go there, post near a car, take a picture. They say God is great. Then the other party stress. No, serious, just do it. Just do it. So, or just meet another guy. When I just meet another guy, handsome guy, well built, take a picture with him. You know, as many we won't say no. Just take a picture with him and say, yeah, my past in. Just do something when I move on. Hey,
so Mudi, it means I was extreme, right?
Also on Facebook, he's there on the comments. It's really comments.
People
will congratulate you. Go get.
Because I went on a flight and left. I went on a flight and went abroad and posted when I'm there. I say that finally I am free. You understand? So
that time you're not free. That time you are not free. You are still stressing.
that time I have a debt. I have a debt of 1.5 million.
Yeah. After that, you go to the bathroom or to your bed, you cry. And then after that, you wipe your tears, you go take another picture, eating something, I'm happy, then you go back and cry. That's how life is. Then later, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I would also like to thank you so much, Mudi, for agreeing to do this. And I also like to thank Lwazi, because had it been not for her and you and her talking alongside somewhere and then come to me with that, suggestion, we wouldn't be here. And so
I
many
know
people are.
I couldn't say no to Lwazi because I love children, so I don't want to disappoint children. So when I look at profile pictures, like the
It's
height,
like a baby.
it's like I was seeing a child, it's like I was seeing a daughter, so I'll share my daughter. I wouldn't say
Oh,
no.
shit.
So
Oh, you
no, I
can't
think
say no to a child.
no,
That is
I know I'm
so
I'm
good.
sensitive to short people, so we should treat them with. So I couldn't say no.
That time when I look at the two of you, I see people who are same age. Yo,
No,
that's
same age or
you
same age.
you like acting older when I'm Mudi. Are you going
I know
to?
now I'm older than I look.
Okay, really? Okay.
Yeah,
I'll take
Yeah.
your word for it.
One thing about people from Limpopo, they will shock you
Yes.
with their age. Like,
Oh, I
yeah.
yeah.
love it. So,
More
Mudi,
than
again, let me type your contact numbers in the comment
okay, is
section. Yes.
011 94
011
845 845
845, yes,
7940
7940.
40. Yeah.
Yebo. And
That's
then
the
email
yeah.
address in which they can send.
It's info it's info at Mavhengani at tennis Mavhengani like my surname Mavhengani at tennis.co.za
Info
at
at
Mavhengani
Mavhengani attorneys. There's
dot
no
co.
dot in between, eh?
No, it's Mavhengani at tennis.co.za. And then on Facebook it's Mudi Mavhengani.
Wait, attorneys, check my spelling. Is there a way to check my spelling? Mavhengani
Mavhengani
attorneys.
at tennis. Like
At
Mavhengani at tennis. At tennis is ATTORNEYS. Mavhengani at
okay,
tennis.
yeah, at
Mavhengani at
yeah
tennis.co.za.
dot co
.za.
za. All right. Okay, let me just. Is there a way to copy and paste on the private chats as well?
Spelling wrong. Please.
Yeah, wrong.
Spelling.
Oh yeah, it's wrong. Let me fix it.
Yeah,
Info. Wait.
Cecilia, what I can do is that I will send you a poster that has his contact details, like the office
Yeah,
landline, the
then
cell
I
phone
can post
numbers,
it.
and everything else, ne? And then we
Mavhengani
can post it
attorneys.
across our social medias that people that need to
Yes.
do consultations with his office, they should contact him on that.
Yeah, but
Yes.
people must not come with big problems because I also have problems of my own.
Yeah. But
Everybody,
you need
everybody,
to.
everybody person has problems.
But
That's why
but
we're
but you understand that the bigger the
I think
problem,
this one is better. This one. This
like
one is right.
you can think it out loud. The bigger the problem, the more, yeah.
That's
Ik zei food just speak for the A. Yeah, from Limpopo, ne?
Yes, I am.
They make see all those things.
I am in Limpopo. I am in Limpopo as we
I
speak.
no one at the end is .co.za, not .ca. Can you see it?
Hi.
No, good night. Good
I
night.
can't, my.
Good
I'll
night.
do
Yeah,
that. I'll
I
fix.
understand.
When I'm out, I'll be able to fix them on the comment
No,
section.
I understand it from Limpopo. Cheers.
Yes. Thank
Bye bye.
you. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Good night, Lozzie. Good
Bye.
night. Good night, Messi. Good night, everyone.